downfall. He does have a bit of an open opportunity, and he is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Ooh, infield pass.
Oh, yes,
Nice.
that was excellent play out of the Condors.
Now, forward, but he can't get away though. Slightly takes him down in the backside of the fight. One goes down as well. Quatch gets taken down. And look with the blue siren just pushed away, still alive. But now here comes the four-man shockwave. But doesn't even matter because towards the field now.
Welcome to tonight's NECC Week 8 League of Legends action. And on today's stream, we have, of course, the Conestoga Condors, the staple of the stream. And we have Purdue JV as the competition here tonight. So your casters are myself, Sarah Stims, and I am joined by Heck. You know, an amazing man, great hair,
Hey!
with a burnt finger. How do you burn a finger on grilled cheese?
I just couldn't wait. I was very impatient and very hungry.
Fair enough.
You ever been in a situation like that?
Well, I mean, I understand because I'm impatient for some good League of Legends action here. But that does sound a bit like a cheesy situation to be in.
Yeah, they really grilled me a new one.
Hey, there we go. So, we should be hopping into draft pretty quickly. But some quick background information is that both the Condors and Purdue are roughly tied for fourth. Right now, both teams sit at a record of 4 wins, 3 losses. However, Purdue has the advantage with their game win percentage. But besides that, these two teams on paper should be fairly even overall, I would reckon. And I'm just looking forward to it.
It's all down to the gameplay tonight. They're, pretty evenly matched, except Purdue just has that little bit of a numbers advantage. They're a little higher up on the leaderboard because of that, but in the end, they're both tied for fourth, and this will be the deciding factor tonight on who will rise up above the other team. So just waiting here to get into draft, waiting to see the picks are tonight. But overall, it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a wild card, a bit of a even matchup between both teams.
Yep. So the reason why we said it's going to be a bit of a wild card is that Condors have had a bit of a roster shakeup, we'll say. Danny Man's played, no longer the top laner. Eternity has gone from ADC to top, and Slayers is coming in on ADC for the side of Conestoga. So, new roster arrangement, we'll say. And with that comes new synergy issues as well as playmaking potential, because a staple of the Conestoga playbook was to path towards top and set up a level 3 dive with Danny Man's plate between Lopachinski and Danny. That's no longer feasible, or it could be feasible, but the synergy may not be built up to it. Where Purdue, they have 3 players that main the mid lane. So one of them, I'm going to imagine, will be the jungler and will be on an off roll, which could definitely be a weak point that Conestoga could strike at. In terms of picks, Yuumi is now eligible to be picked in NECC play. However, Milio will still be banned until playoffs, I believe, because that will be the newest champion.
That'll really shake up playoffs, though, when that comes around. Holy.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Milio because I mainly play Sejuani, and his cleanse just absolutely nerfs my entire kit. So, it's a bit of a feel-bad moment whenever I see Milio being picked up by the enemy team. So, picks for tonight to watch, I'm going to say perhaps an Aurelion Soul or Lux in the mid lane for Conestoga, Xin, Wukong, jungle, Kled, Mordekaiser set for top lane. ADC, I'm not too sure what the champion pool is like, but Tristana performed very
good
well
last week, yeah.
Ashe has been recently buffed, not overly, so I don't think that will come through. I'm looking more towards a hyper carry out of Slayers. So
Maybe
Tristana fits that.
Maybe like a Caitlyn or a Jinx or something might appear. Or
Jinx, I could definitely see. Caitlyn, I'm not 100% sure on because I think she has been toned down in recent patches.
A little bit of AD reduction, yes.
Yeah, still a very strong champion, but now is more exploitable, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Support slightly plays everything under the moon, so I actually have no idea what he would pull out on any given stream.
Yeah.
Whereas on the side of Purdue, with 3 mid laners, I'm going to say the focus will be on mid one way or another. Most likely it will be Fox, who will be the starting mid laner, who tends to have a lot of games on the Vigar. However, his Victor seems to be the champion he performs best on, so I would say Victor there. Tops, a little bit topsy-turvy, you could say, as Tryndamere Cassante are their staple picks, but not the highest win percentage either. So, what performs in solo queue may not perform in a team environment, and vice versa as well. So we do have to keep our eye on that. As for AD carry and support, I'm going to assume it's a lot more of the same. It's going to be just meta standard picks.
Yeah,
Jungle's
picking what's good.
Jungle's the only one that I don't know what Purdue will pick. The only jungler we see on anyone would be the Lee Sin out of Mycadia.
Yeah, still a little bit of Lee Sin gameplay slotted in there, but it's gonna be really interesting to see which one they'll lock in and which player will play in the jungle today for Purdue. But just waiting on champ select here still, waiting to get into the draft. I don't know tonight though. It's really interesting how they have so many mid players, and I don't know. Bot lane's going to be interesting. It seems that Purdue's support plays a lot of engage, so depending on what they'll pick tonight, I believe there might be some hook action with Blitzcrank, maybe some Nautilus down there. So Condors going to have to watch where they step and just stay safe down that mid bot lane. Apologies, and just wait it out down there because see what the Condors might be trying to play for that top pressure early on.
So
Working
just
on that
to
synergy.
just to give people some updates, is that the teams are currently sorting out a roster issue. So draft may still be delayed by a little bit right now, as Fox is currently lined up as a jungler, and then they have a fourth potential mid laner coming in to step in. So I'm sure that situation will get sorted out in a timely manner. It just gives us more time to spitball and come up with crazy strategies that may or may not happen. He has no idea what I'm talking about. That's absolutely okay. Sometimes you're just not on the same wavelength. But either way, it just gives us more time. We could always throw it to a break, but break's boring.
No, let's keep talking. They're going to be working on that top synergy, hopefully. Trying to get that mojo back together, what they lost from the departure of Danny Mans. But
Departure,
I guess, is that a good way to put it? But just there was a lot of good early game, like tower dives come from him and Lopachinski in the jungle there. A lot of good plays early on, gave him some good leads, but it's all shaken up now.
Okay, so let's, I guess, reframe the conversation a little bit here, Ohek, is what have Conestoga gained, right? Eternity has been a staple in the top lane. He has experience as a top lane competitive player, especially with last semester. He's been around the block. Mm-hmm. He knows how NEC's played out. He's used to going against people who are of his rank or higher, usually higher, so he knows how to punch up. He's already have that synergy with most of the team in that role. So it will be a little bit different figuring out for Eternity and Lopachinski to see how they mesh, but they've played on team. They've played similar roles before, so I think it will be okay. And I think Slayers is coming in as a more aggressive AD carry with higher carry potential. Eternity may have been more consistent, but I think Conestoga has found a way to find some new highs. It's still going to heavily rely on Lopachinski to unlock the map for his team.
Definitely. It's just a lot of pressure coming from Lopachinski in the jungle there. Of course, with the staple Wukong gameplay he keeps putting out, a lot of good, just not even early on. It's hard for Wukong to get much from any gank because he doesn't have a lot of CC to take down the laner, but there's a lot of good damage coming out, a lot of good dueling potential, a lot of good escapes. So he's been really putting on a good show for us there. And then once again, with the aggressive bot lane, Slayers has shown himself to be quite the asset for the Condors, as he's been getting good advantages down there, playing good. Still working, I think, a bit on the energy between him and Slightly, but still, it's all in due time.
Yeah, all in due time. And it was Slayers who was, I would say, had his debut performance last week and was the shining light for the team. Mm-hmm. He seemed to be the only player with a consistent lead. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite solo carry those games. But regardless, even in a losing situation, he still had a good look to him. Yes. Still carried himself well. Despite being an early performance, despite his team losing, it was a little rough. And it looks like we are going to be hopping into pick ban phase right now.
Ooh.
So, the long-awaited wait is over.
All right.
So.
We got Purdue starting blue side here. They get that first ban out.
And there's
That's
the Lux.
The Lux, yep. Lux out.
I know Become Decker is a monster on the Lux.
Yeah,
He's been playing it right all the way up to where he's currently sitting right at that D1 threshold right now. So it's definitely a champ he feels comfortable on, where Conestoga has opted for that Samira ban.
Samira ban. There's a little bit of Samira, yeah. Good amount of Samira gameplay coming out of the Purdue's bot laner, it seems.
Yeah,
but
and
I don't know.
Samira is one of those champions that can 1v9 if she gets ahead.
Definitely.
So being able to take away not only a comfort pick, but a carry pick as well, is always a good look as well. Now, their AD carry does have a couple games on Draven, but I would assume they default to Xayah, where Purdue banning Xin Zhao. And I know through a few conversations with Olbachinski that he's placed an incredibly high value on Xin Zhao being first pick worthy. And anything's open, you first pick Xin Zhao. That's just how strong he feels about the pick right now. So Purdue picking up on that is good to see. Same with Kled. Kled is one of Eternity's favorite champions. It's a staple, and removing that from the gameplay, I would say it's common sense, but common sense isn't so common anymore based on what I've seen from the world, we'll say. And Conestoga opting for the Tryndamere ban.
Tryndamere. Okay, I guess they just I don't see any reasoning for. Oh no, never mind. Top laner there has got some good amount of gameplay on Tryndamere. Not too much of a good positive.
They banned the Sedge. Okay, Sedge is a very safe champion to play.
Yes.
It's fairly straightforward. It's safe, has great utility. You can flex it as well to a few different lanes. And it's been a staple of pro play for almost a year now for a good reason.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately for me, it's being nerfed next patch. No, it's not just a single tier. It's like a river of tiers, okay?
Oh, you'll find someone else. Just continue.
There's going to be a 6th Great Lake.
You'll be good.
Okay. So, Purdue.
Picks coming in here.
Greg is for Purdue. Conestoga choosing the Wukong and Jinx. Both those seem to be safe options for the time being, we'll say.
What do you think the Gragas is?
Jungle.
Jungle? I think that's the jungle
I've
Gragas
seen
right there?
quite a few jungle Gragases pop up lately. Usually they build AP as well.
Oh, yeah. Get the, what do you think, Predator maybe? Phase Rush? I feel like Predator would be better in the jungle. That's a lot of good roaming, although Predator's not.
Predator is the old one, I would say.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been Dark Souls. Or Dark Harvest. Yeah, there we go. I you know what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
I had the Dark right in there.
Ooh, there's the Annie pick. That's going to be the mid lane. Annie's been dominating recently. Got some.
She's still very strong in support,
Yeah.
and I feel she's most annoying as a support champion right now.
I don't know. I think that's the mid lane.
Mid lane Annie is gankable. She's vulnerable. She can be very strong, but support Annie is just chaotic.
Yes.
She'll build a couple utility items like Shirelli's to help the team get in, but really her wombo combo is right there. Her shield and speed up, to me, is always unexpected. Right when I go for the kill, she pops her shield, and suddenly no one can catch her or who's ever they're trying to lock down. We do see the Senna in response, though, for Conestoga, and now into the second ban phase as well. Conestoga opts for the Silas, another frail Yorge type champion.
Silas has also been doing pretty good in the mid lane recently. He's got a 51% win rate up in those higher ranks, I believe. I think I was looking at that earlier. He's between him, Annie, and Vigar are all doing pretty hot recently, so those are definitely some top picks. The Shen, taken from Condors with Purdue. I think, does Eternity play a good amount of Shen?
Shen is one of those safe champions that you can opt into and feel okay about. Now, both Conestoga Soul winners had yet to be picked, and as I say that, they almost instantly picked the Orianna, a safe control mage from the mid lane. You can set up a ball delivery with Wukong's clone to get it in there, pop it up, but usually you want to save the clone for a defensive escape if you're Wukong, so there's some choices that will have to be made there in order for the Condors to play it safely. But we see the Cassante.
That's the Cassante, okay. A bit more of a recent champion here. That was one of their top laners there. I believe that is Puffzone. That'll be up there with the Cassante. That's a lot of tankiness coming out from him. A lot of good pick potential if you manage to get someone over the wall with that ultimate and just soul them out. But that's quite the front line they're going to have there with your Gragas and the Cassante. Even if Gragas goes AP, he's still got a good amount of damage reduction and just health back from that passive. And then finally, Purdue finishes their lock-in with the Viego pick in the jungle.
So what this means is that Gragas is, instead of a triple flex, it's now going into the mid lane. That much has been secured.
So it's the Annie support then?
Yes.
You're correct.
Yes, it would be Annie support. So Cassante, top, Viego jungle. Now, there have been some very, very unique circumstances where we've seen the likes of Viego mid. I don't think that's one of these games. It just doesn't make sense. And so Conestoga, with last and counter pick, opt into the Camille.
That's a lot of true damage coming out of her.
Which is needed, especially in the likes of Gragas, which has damage reduction, and Cassante as well.
Just all resistances, all stacking that.
Yep.
Just resistances, both MR, armor. That just gives him so much more damage on that passive, and just on all his, like, I'm pretty sure almost all of his abilities scale off that. So it's
close to, I believe. It's been a while since I've actually looked at all of his skills to see the numbers on them. But yeah, he scales off of defensive stats.
Yes.
You build him tank, then you ult, and he turns into a bruiser. Kind of scary. And with Gragas's, what is it? I know it's his W, but his drinking problem, let's say.
Yeah, let's just call it that.
He does build some, the damage reduction. That's where it is. It's in his W. But as far as I know,
and he's taking that pain like a champ.
Yeah, but as far as I know, Gragas' W doesn't actually stop true damage or lower it.
No.
There's almost nothing in the game that will actually deal with true damage except for shields. But shields can be countered with items like Serpent's Fang or the Shadow Flame AP item. So those two items do actually get benefit if the enemy team has shields. There isn't a whole lot of shields, and I don't think anyone on Conestoga will opt for those two items, or on a mic just because it's a great AP item. But overall,
Cassante will have some shields, Annie, of course, will give it some shields, but other than that, it won't be anything major, unless maybe, I don't know.
You generally don't want to go lethality on Camille anyways.
Yeah.
The only one who could reasonably build it, I would say, would be Senna, just because lethality is still a viable path for a Senna to build. But usually I'm going to say, there's so many different Senna builds. There's Black Cleaver, there's Grasp of the Undying, there's Kraken Slayer, there's Stormraiser oriented builds, there's just lethality with support items. I've seen Sennas go Locket even. So there are so many Senna players and so many different build paths. That's hard to really nail down what path the Senna might take. But Owen, we've talked about the champions. We've talked about how these two teams might play, what they might be looking to do. But the question is, who do you predict will win Game 1?
Okay. Wow. I haven't even really been thinking about it, to be honest. I have to take a bit of a gander here at this. Honestly, I think it's Conestoga here. They have a really good engage. You got the Wukong's able to go in there, combined with the Orianna ball on him, able to go to knock up setup from him, and then they can just push them all in together, get them all grouped up. Maybe good Jinx Rocket comes in there. Senna can get a big, I think it's Final Grasp or something. I don't know. Her root, the W. She can get that in there, lock them all down, just get that damage out. Jinx, of course, is that rocket launcher, splash AoE. As soon as she gets that one kill, that's the hyper locked in, and that's just destruction follows after that. And the Camille, even if they don't manage to get someone, maybe like the Draven slips away, the Annie gets out, Camille's able to just get that hook shot off the wall, go in the back, and just jump in there and lock them down. And the Wukong early on against the Viego, I feel like he's better potential to duel, especially with the clone jumping off. That's a lot more jungle pressure going on down there from the Wukong. And I don't know. It's hard though, because Conestoga does have a good amount of scaling, while Purdue has a good early game with the Draven especially. That bot lane is going to be a bit of chaos down there. Between the Annie shield, like you said, that's a lot of movement speed. Combined with his Blood Rush, he's just going to run you down. So Conestoga is going to really need to play safe down there, really keep their distance, and it's hard. It's a hard pick, but I think Conestoga's got a pretty good chance here.
Okay, so the short of it is that you are voting for Conestoga for Game 1 here.
Yes. What about you?
Well, you brought up a lot of good points. You
Okay.
bring up Conestoga's scaling, their potential to rip through Purdue's, stats.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Conestoga is locking a dedicated frontliner. Wukong is a champion that wants to go in, either burst the target or get his combo off, reset with the clone, and then look to do it again. He just doesn't want to stay in the middle there trading with you. he's a bit more of an assassin type playstyle in the
A bit
form
more
of a
burst.
booster.
Yeah.
Exactly. Camille, 100% burst. So
Yes.
she can also deliver the ball with the hook shot, but she's not a frontline. She's not a tank. She's a melee-oriented champion who wants to kill people with burst. And so in the dedicated side lanes, she could be great. So Conosoga is definitely lacking that team fighting frontline champion that they may need to solidify them. Where if you look at Purdue,
Someday.
that's a team that wants to team fight.
I guess.
That's a team that can team fight. They have engage and disengage, peel, and they have the front line. So that way Draven can sit back and free fire. He has roughly 3 melee champions in front of him, all of which can provide somewhat of a buff line. Viego is similar to Wukong. Wants to get his burst across and
Get
then
that
maybe
reset
look to
off,
reset.
and then, yeah.
But he can still sit there and trade because he builds off of auto attack resets and whatnot, so he needs to
A lot of
stay
life
there.
steal, divine sunder.
Exactly.
Raven King.
Sante just wants to be a menace, disrupting as much as he can. Or Gragas will dive, look to blow someone up, and then, maybe just tank, maybe back off to get his cooldowns back. But either way, Purdue is setting up for team fights. Conosoga, I would say, is looking to split, push, and clear.
Yeah, a bit more scaling, a good amount of wave clear potential coming in here. The Orianna and the Jinx will definitely get
And
those waves out.
if this game goes to late game, where it almost starts becoming an ARAM, I would say Purdue have the advantage. So I'm actually going to lead toward Purdue right now. They
Oh.
have a stronger early game, and if they can pop off early, I'm going to say the scaling for Conestoga won't matter because they won't be able to make it in time.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
gonna,
undivided here.
don't pull away from me like that, monster. So
I don't know. It's
our predictions are in the book, and we are going to throw it to a quick break while we build a spectator delay and make sure we get into game all with that. So grab a drink, hit the washroom, and we'll see you in a couple minutes. And here we are in game one. I think that was actually shorter than 15 minutes.
To Summoner's Rift.
Production crew's on today. Players are on it. And so, Conestoga, expecting the early
30
in-game
seconds
5
until
stack after
minions
dropping
spawn.
defensive ward. And I mean, Purdue could invade. I don't think they're actually set
I
up
don't
for
think
a
they
good
have much
level 1.
to. Yeah, not really any engage potential.
Maybe
coming from
Annie's
them.
stun would be their best option to it, but besides that,
That'd have to be the W. No, she doesn't have. Does she have the stats? What was the starter?
maybe. It would be with her Q, no? Wouldn't it?
Well, she can't shoot the Q out unless she has a target.
Yeah.
But if she starts with it, then
Minions
it
have
could. But
spawned.
either way, oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
See?
no, you're right. Yeah,
As
okay.
we both point towards the monitor.
Yeah.
Okay, so break it down. It's going to be Fox in the jungle, not as a mid laner that we
Surprise, no
thought.
Viego mid.
So Maximus Toy comes in as a mid laner. Then we actually don't know much about this person's champ pool, playstyle, etc. And it is actually common for the Gragas. Not running either electric
He's got that tier. He's just going to want to try and poke him out, stack that up, build that into.
And
Taking a rod.
Hey, no, that doesn't build into rod, does it? No.
No, it doesn't.
No. Okay. No, so that goes into, what is it, Seraph's Embrace eventually.
Yes.
And so that lifeline or shield at the end there could be an absolute massive advantage for diving in.
Yeah.
But Conestoga, they need to play the early game well in order to make it through the game, because we both identified that the early game will be pivotal.
Yes.
Pivotal?
Pivotal. Pivotal?
No, that adding an extra syllable.
It'll determine a lot of this game's outcome, how both teams perform at the start here.
Yep.
It's quite the brawling matchup up top, what a back and forth. Both have grasp, so that's a lot of help stacking.
Yeah, and we see both bot laners hit level 2. Draven is going in. He flashes in on slightly stunned. He flashes out, but Draven is going hard for it. They are looking to trade 1-for-1, but Annie's buying so much time, and the entire time Draven was just free hitting onto the Jinx. So Draven will pick up 2 kills with the spinning axes. This could be the Draven show before we even know it.
We were just talking about that early game, and there it goes, that Draven early damage. Right there with the Annie movement speed allowed him just keep up with Conestoga's bot lane, and they couldn't make it out in time or just get away from the disastrous damage he was dealing out. And with the lethal tempo as well stacking up, he just gained an awful lot of attack speed. Just kept those axes juggling.
Hey,
Giving him a 2-kill lead, and starting off with the Dirk.
yeah, that buying power right off the bat coming in with a finish rated Dirk. And if he goes into lethality into a squishy Condors team, he's going to earn so much value off of that as well. So yeah, Condors bot lane, they're already starting off on the back foot, we'll say, or back claw.
They did
talon.
manage to get that kill. They did manage to sneak in one.
They
so
got
it's
1 kill
not
back.
as bad.
And luckily it was an early game, so Draven hasn't had a chance to
Yes.
do all the stacking
Stack
yet.
up the League of Draven stacks.
So it's not terrible, but already Purdue jumping out to a 1,000 gold lead. And most of that will be on Draven because he did get the first blood as well. Now become Decker in a vulnerable position, but Lopachinski is there, and this will be a dead Gragas. The fat man cut down to size. But Fox goes in on Eternity. Good flash out of Eternity will keep him safe. But now that's Camille without a flash.
Is there really a big issue though with the hook shot getaway? As long as he's not body blocked up there, he can sneak his way out pretty easily if he gets any difficult situation brought before him. Bit back and forth.
Just 2 auto attacks. Chunking Slayer 15/3. So this
Swirling axes hurt already.
It's going to be a rough game. So Eternity back on the push there. Definitely keeping Puff Zone on his back foot. And luckily Condors have a bit of range advantage, so they can look to poke them out. But still, if you step up too far, Javen will just run in. And now Viego's pathing bot as well. Condors have a ward in the river, so they may be able to spot out a gank, but Jinx is the only one up with Flash, so slightly could be a sacrificial pawn here. But there's a repeat gank onto Gragas, and Gragas should die first.
Mid before bot.
And there it is.
Goes.
Slightly was the sacrificial carry.
He was taken down right there. The Draven did not get an assist on it, however. It was only between the Annie and the Viego, so he's just going to get some free farm down there.
Small wins.
Yes.
Now Eternity is going hard on the Puff Zone. Puff Zone has to flash out, and Eternity opts not to chase.
He already has
just
that
taking
sheen.
the lane win. Well, he had just TP'd back to lane, which is why he had the HP advantage there. I would look for Eternity to freeze lane right now to deny as much CS experience to Puff Zone as possible before looking to start dueling again, because Puff Zone with a delayed back had an additional 10 CS by the looks of it, so could have opted for more. And it looks like he started with a call, I want to say?
A cull, and because he died early on, I guess.
No, Puff Zone hasn't died early, so unless he
Oh,
backed
well,
early,
I guess.
either way, it's a weird series of backs for Puff Zone, I would say. But he's looking to build right into the steel caps, which would be smart. Lopachinski's coming up top. Puff Zone's forced to push
the
because
tower,
Eternity
yes.
held the lane. And now
All the
Kazante
abilities are
could
out.
be vulnerable. There they go. And Puffstone just can't get out of it, already burning his flash. The true damage comes through, and that's dead Kazante. Now slightly found Fox in the river, and that's a Fox you don't want to fight. And so Mackin's Toy, he was looking for that exploding cast and maybe find a pick on the Slightly. He already has 2 deaths. 50% of Condor's death isn't a great look already, but it is the support. At the end of the day, it's the support. Sorry. 66% of Condor's deaths so far. Not 50%. My math was off. This is why I don't do math on stream. Whew.
So the Draven's down here also got the Sheen now as well. So between that might be an Essence Reaver into a bit more
I would say
lethality,
Essence Reaver.
yes. Just
An
a
early Essence Reaver.
bit of a split build coming in here, but of course he has the money to do so. He's got that CS lead just by about 5s, actually, not too major. Purdue.
He does about 20% of their HP per auto attack right now.
But yes,
which, even though you have sustain coming out of Slightly, if he's using it to poke, it means you're not sustaining lane.
The odd axe every now and then is just going to chunk them down slowly but surely. But of course, that Mountain Drake just came in. That's a lot of good resistances for Cassandre, maybe even Gragas. Beef him up a bit more. That front line nice and healthy.
That is the perfect starting dragon for the likes of Purdue. They will get so much value out of those increased resistances, especially early on when they want to build them. It will make it that much harder to kill, that much harder to get a lead, because now you suddenly need to do 5 or 6% more damage to get through those extra resistances. And Camille, true damage, shouldn't have an issue there, but everyone else on the side of Condors will probably struggle.
We'll probably see Kraken Slayer come into Jinx to help out about that as well. Maybe, I don't know, it's too early to tell what Slightly is going to go here with the Senna build. As you said before, anything's possible with that character. Most of the stats you'll just gain from that passive anyways.
Yeah, and Eternity is starting to trade well. Has tied up the CS, which is good to see as well, because he was down by a bit. Now Lopachinski here, bot, has the Cyclone available, knocks up both of them. They're turning on to the Annie there. Annie with a double. My words just stopped coming there.
Jinx. It will maybe keep up with it, but in the end, the flash comes out from Fox, gets in there, gets the stun off. The Slightly just managed to flash his way out, but he's just barely hanging on with that 1 health bar.
They need to turn on Diego right now.
He
gets out. They're going to get the
health up. They get the triple. Yes, they do. Getting them back into the game. Jinx managing to snag, I believe, 2 of those kills as well for himself.
Okay, so because my words failed me, I'm going to recap that because I should be able to recap. Is that Lopachinski started off the gank with the Cyclone, got it onto both members. They opted for the Annie pick first to make sure that she couldn't speed up Draven or stun them any further to prolong the fight. So the Cyclone was a double knock-up onto Annie. They secured that kill, and it looked like slightly overstepped with the Diego counter gank, but luckily he was able to buy time in the... okay, so nothing special there. Slightly with the return kill there. Great to see. But either way, Condors are starting to pop up across the map. Fox is going to be top here, does have the ultimate available, so Camille, Eternity, he's not going to live forever. Eternity? He's not living up to his name right now.
It does.
Yep. He's not the universe.
Bit of a...
he's not the power of his mustache.
No, I'd say a bit even up top now. Sante's still trying to get that call out. That'll give him a good gold lead once he finishes that, but still up a kill here up top, Eternity.
Purdue was up 1,000 gold at like the 3-minute mark.
Yes.
It's now swung nearly 2,000 in the other way. So Conestoga very quickly finding a 3k gold advantage. Now they're coin flipping the
which
the
might
Rip
will get
Barrels.
it. Ooh.
And it goes in favor of Lopachinski, and they get the kill on the Fox as well. Not quite cunning enough to get out.
No. He stayed there. He tried to get anything out of that situation. He was not able to gain a kill or the Herald, and just left and went back to the fountain with a crown on his face.
Yep, he got the quick transport back to the fountain. But it's still the Draven show in bot lane. Up in CS, up tempo, up pressure. And now we see Slightly and Lopachinski here hovering there. But they bait out the stuns from Hydra Knight there. And he goes down. Now Draven's caught in the river. The Cyclone gets the knockoff. And Lopachinski will pick up 1 kill. Slayer's getting the other one. So now what we thought was a bad lane for Conestoga is turning into their strength. Top and mid are steady, we'll say. They've both died, but they're steady. They're still even. But now bot lane has started to explode in favor of Conestoga. The early fighting power out of the Draven has been negated by just a couple great ganks from Lopachinski. And I have to say, Slightly being a squishy right now makes him an easy target. So using him as bait also makes sense. I was a little bit worried that they would still get a trade kill back, but they played it well. And the important thing was that Lopachinski didn't get caught in the initial NECC. That's what made that gank successful.
Managed to weasel his way out of that one with the monkey clone, and was just able to get that perfect knock up. The first cast was put off on the Annie, managed to secure that kill, and the second one just made its way in on the Draven as well. While that Purdue has some really good engage, as soon as they use that Annie shield and the blood rush from the Draven, they don't have any real escape down there than those flashes if they're up. So they've been making real good use of that here. Eternity's getting ulted in, didn't manage to connect to that wall, but the Gank's gonna come up here, maybe try and do something. The ultimate Eternity, but just barely gets snagged with a Cassante knockup, trying to make his way out of there, giving a kill for Purdue jungle.
Ooh, and there's Draven getting clapped. That's a whole lot of burst damage coming out of the Conestoga there.
I didn't expect that to happen.
They drew out the cleanse from Draven as well. He cleansed the center root, but the Chompers was right there afterwards, so even then Draven just couldn't go anywhere. And that will enable Condors to rotate up to Dragon. They will get a second Dragon, maybe another kill here, as Annie has to heal just to protect herself under tower. And the Condors will chase this one down. But the Annie Tivers comes out. It's going to be close, but Slightly is able to walk away.
Slayers managed to get the kill there and take the Tivers aggro. If not, Slightly might have been taken down by the big bear.
You could say that was an almost unbearable situation. But the Condors are able to bear it. They're able to last.
Almost turned out a little bit grisly.
Yeah, just a little bit. It was looking grisly when, you know, Draven got the first 2 kills, but Condors, they're birds. They know how to fly over bears. They don't have to fight bears directly, they just go over. Nonsense aside.
Yeah.
Conestoga is nearly up 4K right now at the 13-minute mark. They're doing good. They have about a 300 gold lead per minute, which is nothing spectacular, but it does solidify their lead. Exactly. It's a healthy goal lead that they can use to hopefully snowball this advantage into the mid game. Now, no towers have dropped yet. Eternity's down level. He's trading heavily with Puff Zone. And
doesn't have that Sunderer yet, so it's a little difficult.
Exactly. Once he has the Sunderer, he's definitely going to start hard winning these trades. But until then, Puff Zone has the Iceborne Gauntlet finished and probably could win an extended 1v1 there. But now,
we are starting to see some mythics come out here with
some mythics.
Is it a Frostfire? I always want to say Iceborne.
It's Iceborne now.
Is it Iceborne?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Frostfire last season when Sunfire was...
When they were all had the Sunfire passives.
Yes. Yeah, when they all had the Immolate passive there.
So now it's Iceborne, yeah. Iceborne from them. Oh, the Rod of Ages on the Gragas. There it is.
The tier is still there, though. So the tier doesn't build into the Rod of Ages. But yes, you did call that out early.
Hydro Knight just barely gets caught out there by Lopachinski. Tried to recall in the bush. They just had that ward with a little bit of lifetime left in there.
Yeah. But you know, Hydro Knight is just living up to their name. They're hydrating Condors first. So now Become Decker being the target of Fox and Macklин's Toy. Great flash there to avoid the exploding cask and survive that one. Now looking to get a bit of return damage down. A great shockwave Slightly comes through with the Dawning Shadow as well to provide that extra seat.
Oh, that's a double kill and Become Decker.
Great heads up play by Conestoga to turn that one around. All on the back of Become Decker dodging that exploding cask coming to the Gragas. Fantastic highlight play.
They're really playing as a team here now, really communicating, watching each other's backs, and they're taking Purdue apart. They had a bit of a interesting start there, of course, with that bot lane for Draven. Eternity and Puffstone going back and forth here. Puffstone's got that lifesteal and that ult now. Maybe just barely might be able to get Eternity. Eternity just makes it out.
Yeah, Eternity needs to
flash, but
Eternity needs to chip down Cassante just a little bit more before he can look for a kill.
Steel caps, it might help because Cassante does deal a lot of damage in that auto attack passive. So,
yep.
Oh, Fox going in there gets the Shurelia's movement speed along with the Annie shield, making him quite quick, but just not enough to catch up. That Cloud Soul movement speed in the jungle there also helped out Conestoga a lot. They're fast like birds. Birds can be fast.
Yes, birds are generally faster than people who run along the ground.
So, but then these people also have flaming barriers that make them
You know what? Don't be bringing your sense back to this, okay? So Conestoga, they're setting up for the second Rift Herald of the game. They have started it, and it's going to be Draven trying to take on Become Decker, who is missing all of some, so a little bit vulnerable there as well. But the team fight is focused on the Rift Herald now. Fox is there, but Lopushinsky with a great knockup on 3. Hydro Knight's going to be low. Lopushinsky with another knockup on 3, and it's going to be a bit of monkey business here as the teams chase into the jungle. Puff Zone is trying to get a puff of fresh air running away through that Cloud Soul area, but he just won't be able to make it as the Condors chase relentlessly. All 4 of them there, and they turn right back to the Rift Herald as well. And Dragon, 45 seconds away, so Condors can easily take the Rift reset and be at Dragon on time.
With the Purdue jungler also taken down, they have a no worry but the smite. While they lost Lopushinsky at the start there, but the Lopushinsky going in there, got the good cycling off, really took the attention of Purdue, allowing Slayers to just get some free damage, get that Kraken Slayer in, get that rev up stacked up, and then of course after that first kill, that Hyper, it does so much for Jinx's damage potential, leading to Purdue just falling victim.
Though the entire fight was off the back of Lopushinsky.
Yes.
He was able to get a knockup on 3-4 members there repeatedly, and that just buys so much time for the rest of his team to do damage. Because you see Draven, Galliusi with the cleanse. You can't cleanse a knockup.
Nope.
Which is unfortunate. Because that would...
Knockups gets that recast as well if he lives long enough. That's the double whammy.
Yeah, exactly. So either way, you would then have to take your poison, and it just doesn't come out. So, Condors, they're definitely hitting their scaling points already, being this far ahead. 19-7 kills, 6k goal lead. And next Dragon is up, but because it's a Cloud Soul, I don't think either of these teams are going to be prioritizing it too heavily. It will definitely be a nice buff to have lower ult cooldowns and more speed. But really, Conestoga's already ahead that they can just use it as bait. They can take it at their leisure right now. And I don't think there's anyone on the side of Purdue who can actually contest it. But now they are looking for a 3-man pick onto Eternity. They do get it. They do draw out Slightly's ultimate as well. And that will probably be the first tower taken now for Purdue. The bot tower is looking awfully low on the side of Conestoga. The Conestoga have a tower lead right now. It's 2 towers to 1. There are still outer turrets left to be taken. But do you see what I see, Owen? I see some gold outlines on the buildings. You know what that means?
Oh, bounties. Objective bounties, and also Conestoga managed to just sneak in that Cloud Dragon there while most of Purdue's players were up top, so that's a Dragon lead for them. So they're doing pretty good once again with objectives here. Conestoga is staying consistent and just taking those towers, taking the Dragons. They're only down 1 tower right now, while they're up 3. And they just managed to get them with the Rift Herald, and that inhibitor tower down mid lane is taking some damage, although it's going to regen a bit of that back over time.
Nope. Because it was the Rift Herald that did the damage?
Oh, yes.
Well, okay, well, it's not just because of the Rift Herald did the damage. But the Rift Herald did enough damage to drop it to below 1/3 HP, which means that the inhibitor tower won't regen past that. So that's actually a very successful Rift Herald push for a second Rift Herald. And that just opens the map completely for them as well. Baron is about to spawn in 30 seconds. And Conestoga can look to take it, but Become Decker, he steps up a little too far. Puff Zone is going onto him. The knockup is charged and ready to go, but it's Gregus going first. Misses the cast. The shockwave comes out, and Become Decker is going to trade 1-for-1 in a play that was entirely opted into by Purdue. So Become Decker definitely making the most of these bad situations, and a lot of it is just sidestepping the Gregus ultimate. If he gets hit by any of those, or in either situation, he would die.
Yes, of course. Oh,
he still died, but this opens up the Baron because you know 2 are bot. That either way, Conestoga, they have entire priority on the map right now.
They even saw the Annie going down there as well. They had that vision in the bot river. Saw him walk up by, so they didn't know right away that was 3 bot, and they were able to easily take this Baron with no contest here in Purdue. That's putting them up to a, what is that, 4K gold lead, almost 5. Is that 5K now?
Yeah, it's about 6K.
It's about 6. Oh yeah,
It's about 6K.
yeah. So that Conestoga is sitting quite comfortably right now with this Baron.
Yeah, so what had helped Purdue there keep it to 6K, we'll say, is that they got the kill on Decker, which was a gold shutdown bounty on him. I think it was close to 500 gold. And they got a tower as well, which had a bounty on it.
A bit of an engage coming in here from Eternity. Hook shotting in, and get that ult off. Fox can't get out at all. Lopachinski with a bit of an early cyclone. That's okay. He's got the recast going off on Draven here. Might be able to get to him just in time. Oh, the hook shot catches up to him. You can't escape Camille. Is she Law? I think she's the Law around build over as well, right?
I want to say she's a bounty hunter, actually.
She a bounty hunter? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can't escape the bounty hunter.
Either way.
Not
Either
bad.
way, you can't escape the birds when they got their eyes on you. Not even that word. Oh well.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a learning experience. We're part of an academic institution. We're here to learn what works and what doesn't work, whether it's on the rift, behind the camera, or on camera. It's all a learning experience right now.
Wow,
So Hydronet,
that's Senna damage already.
exactly. Hydronet learning how much Senna hurts now that she has 2 items, has some stacks, and Puff Zone looking to engage there, but even slightly is enough to dissuade that right now. So Slightly and Lopachinski are sitting at 15 of 22 kill participation. That's roughly 66% overall, which is a great look to see, especially from a jungler and support. Those are the 2 roles where you'll see the highest KPI normally. If it's in top lane, for instance, then that is one hell of a spicy top lane. But Eternity's not doing too bad at 6 KP there himself.
He's getting some good farming as well, some good side laning. It's able to just match up against a good amount of Purdue's soul laners, of course. Able to get against that Gragas, that Cassante, and if he gets caught out, he's got that hook shot. He's good, so he's going to keep a good presence going on there. And of course, if he manages to get to that tower, that sheen on the Sunder really hurts just the tower itself. Yeah.
Yes, Sheen procs usually do hurt towers.
Oh yes.
That's why. That's one of the reasons why I like building them, especially on auto attack restarters like Camille. Even Wukong will be able to do it as well with his Nimbus Strike or something like that.
Crushing blow, I think it is.
The Q. Oh yeah, Nimbus Blow is the one where he kind of
flies.
Yeah, flies out. Either way,
He bonks you on the head.
yes, he bonks you on the head.
Ooh, Fox might be able to caught out here.
Yeah, he's going to run right into Lopachinski either way, or the Oriana. The Shockwave comes through, catches the
Oriana
Fox,
pulls back.
and the Fox gets skinned by the Monkey. Now that's a dangerous proposition. But either way, slightly now getting chunked out by the Clone Cast, but Lopachinski's there with the Cyclone still to knock that up. And now Condors, they can opt for Dragon or the push, and they will opt for both as Eternity. First Puff Zone happens in the top lane right now. Puff Zone, yeah, I don't think he wants much to that one, and sees forced to flash out at the very end there. But Eternity's looking for the dive, gets it with an excellent flash plus true damage. And oh my, Condors, 25-9, knocking on the inhibitor's doorsteps. Well, the inhibitor tower's down in mid lane. The base is already being cracked.
It's wide open. Inhibitors there for taken, but they want to go for this bot tower here. Get more presence down there.
They opt on slightly.
Slightly just turning damage back on the shielding off from the Oriana.
He's still nearly full health there, despite getting the full combo.
That lethality healing is quite impressive from just the 2 items. He's able to make it out alive, though Purdue used a lot to try and get him there.
And I think that, if anything, that right there is an indicator of Purdue's situation. They can't even kill the support despite using as much of their burst as possible. Now Annie, to be fair, has opted almost exclusively for support items. This is not one of those Annies that go AP in the support lane.
Yeah.
This is more of a supportive Annie, which helps the team, but it does mean that their sole AP damage relies on Gragas. And now Draven. Well, there's no Draven.
Yeah, Draven's gone.
Yeah.
The Draven there is really fallen low. He's only sitting there with that Essence Reaver. He's just got a lot of whack of items here, just trying to build something, but it's not really working out for him.
Slayer's getting caught by Fox there, but Fox is once more dead. They're going back on the Slayers. He gets kidnapped for a bit, and Puff Zone and Maximus Toy, they find enough damage to take off one, but Sante should drop here to Camille while their base is being taken across the map there. And you can almost see Purdue throw in the towel, just trying to get a moral victory right now anywhere that they can. The TP comes through out of Eternity as well to keep that cannon minion alive. And the Draven's alive, but there's no way he's going to be able to clear against 3 members of Conestoga. And it looks like Conestoga, as traditional players, will opt for the fight. And so the execution comes through onto the slightly drops, the heal comes out, and Condors, they are pushed off of the base of Purdue. So Purdue managing to hang in there. Lobachinski having to flash out as well. And that's, I would say, all because Conestoga opted to go for the fight, to try and get one more kill instead of ending, which is fine. They're 11k ahead right now, or 10.5. They can choose to do that and be okay. However, they can't continuously make that choice. They do need to finish this game, and I want to see a clean finish out of Conestoga today. They have the win in the bag. They just need to take it. And if they can't take it soon, that could speak problems to maybe execution problems, maybe communication, maybe lack of decision making. And you can't rely on Baron all the time. Eternity is overstaying top lane without mana, for instance. He's going to get picked off. Now he doesn't have Baron priority because the top laner is dead. So this is another window now for Purdue to try and get something back, to stall this game out. They have 5v4. Puffzone doesn't have TP to join the fight, but they could look for an additional pick here and maybe snowball these advantages some way, some form. Because it's Conestoga's game to lose right now, and they're doing a pretty great job of finding ways.
Even though we're a little later on, of course, Conestoga, they may be high up, but they got those high levels, giving them the long respawn timers.
Oh, they got Slayers.
Fight here. Slayer gets caught out. Well, Slayer's in the back, gets the reset off. Fox is now Slayers, and is able to get, trying to get Lobachinski out, and it's inevitable. So there you go, you're right, that Baron priority really dropped down after the Camille pick up top, and Purdue's able to confirm it from the Baron. Might be able to push back, get some towers in response, although there is that, no, there's only 2 Conestoga players alive right now.
They were able to kill Lobachinski there, so there's no smite up. And Camille's Q execution damage, or true damage, doesn't beat smite right now. Maybe when a fully built Camille could come close, but it would still be rough. And Conestoga went from an 11k gold lead to 4. They lost 6,000 gold off
There's a
that
lot of
series
shutdowns
of
available there, especially on Slayers. It's a lot of money to whoever took his bounty.
So this is what I mean, that Conestoga, the win was in the bag. They opted to greed. They have now...
They're paying the price for that one.
They're not just paying the price. The price is being extracted from their flesh right now. Conestoga, they need to find a way to honestly get back into this game. Find momentum, find some way to disrupt the tempo that Purdue is building for themselves with these wins. Now Dragon, 20 seconds away. Conestoga wants it because it's Soul.
It's Soul for them,
Purdue wants to stop the Soul. And Fox is still relatively weak compared to Lobachinski, compared to Slayers. But Hydra Knight had a great flank onto Slayers there for that Baron fight, which is how they won it as well. They were able to get rid of Slayers slightly right off the bat, and Camille wasn't there to assassinate anyone. So now Lobachinski dives in, and they get a clean pick on Fox. Knockin' goes in, looking for Slightly, can't find anything. And the exhaust comes in, but Hydra Knight turns around, gets killed Slightly there, and Purdue still has a little bit of life in them. But Draven can only do so much, and he's trying it. He gets the pick onto Become Decker, but now it's just Puffzone left alive. He goes in onto Slayers, and Slayers drops as well. So even though Conestoga win the fight, they drop 3. It is just Lobachinski and Eternity left alive with 20
seconds on some respawns there for Purdue.
Exactly. So they could look to finish. They have a double super minion wave here. Fox is up in 10. They should look to end. Between the two of them, they should be able to crash tower
damage, yes.
But the minions are stalled there. So now Lobachinski is going to grab the power
machines, it's over.
And it should be over. It should be. Okay, Eternity's focusing it. They're not going for the kill. They learned their lesson. They weren't giving anyone else on Purdue a chance to make a hero play here tonight. So in just under 30 minutes, Conestoga Condors, they pick up game 1 in this best of 3 series. And it was a good game.
It was a very good game.
It was a rough ending, but it was a good game.
Purdue almost had that comeback there. Even though it's later on, you might be behind. You can still get those long kill cooldowns. You can get that pick here and there. Find that one odd player just singled out. And then, of course, there's a whole heap of objectives, towers, right? Even just more money you can get from the minion waves. Oopsies. I might have just... Yeah. I put my hand out.
Yeah.
I put my hand out.
You put your hand up in a weird way.
Up. Yeah.
So, camera... It has AI auto-tracking functionality, which is always a fun tool, but sometimes it messes with us and with production.
Yes.
So we'll get that sorted out here. But in the meantime, we're going to throw it to a break while we get set up for the next game. We're going to get some water. We're going to not get a snack because we're not allowed snacks in the control room. But if no one knows, no one knows. So yeah, so we'll see you on the other side of this break. Okay. So, they started draft on us in a surprising manner. They just sprung it on us like spring does spring things.
It is spring.
Unfortunately, yes.
You got a problem with spring?
Yes.
What's okay? Do I want to know, or is it just?
Well, spring is usually when things get really muddy and mud just
I thought
isn't
it'd
fun.
be mud. Honestly,
But,
you look like a mud hater to me.
Okay. Mud aside, not to dirty the conversation, is spring is also when allergy season happens.
Yeah.
And I deal with allergies.
Yeah,
so
same.
that's not something I really want to deal with.
No.
And also, I like winter. Winter is nice. You crack your window open, you just tuck in under the duvet. You're, nice, snug as a bug in a rug.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But seasons aside, we have a bit of a
Yes, right now
Bit of
it's the
a-
season for drafting.
draft here. Yeah.
So, quick rundown of the ban so far is that Conestoga has banned the Chinmere, Samira, Gragas. Gragas, I can understand being taken off the board. Maximus Toy did look well on it, had the highest CS in the game. So, Purdue, on the other side, have banned out the Lux, Kled,
And then now the
Wukong.
Wukong this time. After
Definitely
they
wanna
saw-
get
Yeah, that
Lobachinski off
Wukong
of it.
really dominated, but it seems Lobachinski's got that Xin Zhao now. So it's
As I mentioned at the beginning of the day, is that Xin Zhao for Lobachinski
Powerful.
is a champion that he feels is an auto lock. If it's open, you auto lock it, you blind pick it. So he's feeling good about this champion. So I'm hoping to see an even better pickup. Or performance? Yeah, performance would be better. And we also get the Jinx and Renata as well. coming from the
Renata's always
Conestoga.
fun to see.
Purdue, they have my favorite champion, Sejuani. Well,
Hey.
maybe second favorite.
Is it Shyvana now?
No, Shyvana's kind of like third. I enjoy Shyvana because full AP Shyvana's kind of cheesy. You just deal 1,300 damage with your E out of nowhere, and nobody suspects
Who's the
it, so they
favorite now,
just
then?
die. Like, the OG favorite would be Trundle.
Okay.
Nar's up there,
I
but
respect that.
because I don't play top anymore, I don't really have my love for Nar.
The Trungle.
Yeah, the Trundle.
Trungle the jungle? The Trungle?
I play them top too and
Playing
support.
top as well? Okay. Oh, that's horrible. No.
So,
You
so
lost
yeah.
me respect by saying that.
Oh, okay, I see how it is. Either way, I am a connoisseur of the Fairly Urged Champions, we'll say.
Yeah, you like it.
So, you can almost tell I'm
A little
Canadian.
cold. A little cold, yeah.
Yeah, I synergize well with the cold. So, Purdue has also chosen Xayah and Blitzcrank.
That
I
Blitzcrank
believe.
I was saying earlier, that engage.
Yes.
What a hook gameplay from that. There goes the Aurelian Soul. Purdue, that's targeted at Become Decker there, as the Conestoga's not yet to lock in the mid laner. See what Conestoga goes for here. Probably this will be targeted at either the. Do you think it's Sejuani jungle?
Most likely Sejuani jungle. We
So
are
with the
also
top
seeing
laner
that
in the mid
the
lane.
Aurelian Soul was meant to be a Vex ban. So the dragon is still open for play right now.
Okay.
It's just a misban.
So that is Vex then. That's
Yes.
Vex.
So that's a Vex ban, not an ASOL ban. So maybe Decker looks towards the Aurelian Soul. He's not the biggest fan of it since it's changed.
Okay.
He used to be able to climb the Masters on it. Now it's a bit of a struggle bus. And we did see that Aurelian Soul is weak to the likes of Cho'Gath. And I don't think anybody wants to relive that traumatizing experience. So I'm going to say that the Aurelian Soul will not be picked by
He'll remain
Conestoga.
in,
It could
in
still
the
be
stars
picked
for
by
now, maybe.
Purdue. But yes, the Sky Dragon shall hopefully remain amongst the stars. So Conestoga, with their last ban, decide to ban away the Yone. An instant lock of Cassante for
Cassante
the
again.
buff zone again. He was okay on the champion.
Didn't do good, didn't do bad. It was just a good, like we said, good tanky front line overall. And now Purdue's gonna have quite the beefy front line. The Blitzcrank, the Sejuani, the Cassante, all gonna be holding their ground up there. But Conestoga, they have that Xin Zhao again. They got the Renata. They might be able to just get some good engages off here. The Xin Zhao can just fly in back there. A lot of range if he manages to hit that W. Xayah doesn't have much mobility to dodge that. So, and the Mordekaiser, top lane.
Xayah does always have the ultimate available
Oh, but
as
there is the
as a
ultimate,
get out of
yes.
free card, but that's not something you want to use willy-nilly
right
right
off the
now.
bat just to dodge one ability.
And
yeah.
so it's going to be interesting here. We talked about Purdue already drafting a very strong front line. An excellent point.
The Mordekaiser with
But-
that passive, that max health shred, that might come in.
But not even that. Is that it doesn't matter how beefy your front line is if you can't keep up with the damage that the other team is putting out, which happened last game. Conestoga got too far ahead that their carries were just outputting too much damage that the tanks couldn't tank it. They were being wilted away faster than they could recuperate. And so that could be another problem here for Purdue, because Mordekaiser is a hard counter to Sejuani, especially if that's a Sej top, which it isn't. I played the matchup, it's absolutely horrendous. You cannot beat Mordekaiser as a Sejuani, period. And with Mordekaiser, if you group for team fights, for objectives, you just take the Sejuani into the death realm. You're almost guaranteed a free kill if you have the damage to kill her. She can't kill you unless you're playing badly. But then your team gets the free objective anyways, because the enemy team can't smite.
Yep.
So, right off the top of my head, I'm still going to say Conestoga is a little on the squishy side. But after their first game, after the momentum,
they thrive in that situation. They really
thrive, but they did well.
They show they
were able to turn bot lane around to their favor and snowball. That was the biggest thing, was that they were able to snowball. If both teams were on even footing for the entire game, it probably would have been an entirely different result. But Conestoga just snowballed so quickly, so fast, that Purdue couldn't keep up with the damage output. This game, they're at least aware of that. They can now look for picks instead of full-on team fights.
Especially with that Blitzcrank now.
Exactly, or the kidnap from Cassante with the flank, or the Sejuani Glacial Assault into the Glacial Prison. There's so much CC and pick opportunity for Purdue that Purdue has a very clear-cut win con. Conestoga, they're great as a scrappy duelist team. They want skirmishes. That's where Zinzao and Mordekaiser thrive. Jinx can play front to back, but Mordekaiser is the only dedicated frontliner who's going to be in the death realm himself. So not too helpful, but with momentum from last game, I would give game 2 towards Conestoga, and they sweep Purdue JV with it.
I agree with you entirely. 100%. I would say some points, but you covered everything, honestly. Everything I had in mind to say, you just completely blasted it all out there. Conestoga, they have that good, scrappy team fight, that potential. And, of course, once again, with that Jinx, just gets that hyper built up. Any easy pick right at the start. Conestoga goes for that more bursty comp. Even if the Zinzao gets in there and dies, he's got the Renata revive. If they get that pick off, he comes right back, and he's still in that fight. And the Renata, I don't remember what it's called, but the gas wall, whatever it is.
The hostile takeover.
Yes. If she manages to get that off, there's not a lot of escape potential coming up from Purdue there. There's a few tiny little dashes, but avoiding it, especially in close quarter situations like the jungle, will be quite difficult for them. That leaves a big opening for Conestoga to just swoop in there, Mordekaiser, and get an ult off, and whoever he wishes. Xayah will most likely dodge most of the engage, of course, coming from that ult, but there's some good setup potential coming in here from Conestoga.
Okay, so we both favor Conestoga, but how does Purdue win this game? I would say Purdue wins this game if Conestoga, A, cannot get onto the carries. If they cannot kill Xayah or Syndra, the teamfights could turn around, because Syndra, with that unleashed power, could look to instantly kill someone. Bailout from Renata Glass could save them for a bit, but we all know Syndra is a press R to win champion.
Yes.
Sometimes there's no chance to return a pick, especially with how quickly that bailout expires. And Xayah is definitely one of the top champions played for the Gallo UC as well for the side of Purdue. So very comfortable in this champion. So if Conestoga cannot pick off Xayah or Syndra, I think Purdue could win through those two avenues themselves, and then just play behind the front line, look for either picks from Blitzcrank or engages from Sejuani. And Cassante, I feel, could reasonably... He'll do okay in the side lane. I don't think he's going to win against the Mordekaiser, because the Mordekaiser can just be a monster, and Cassante doesn't have the damage to get through the shields. So he's just either going to body block to slow the Mordekaiser down, or look to join the team fights and perhaps kidnap someone. So Purdue does have avenues back into this game, but from what we saw from game 1, I still say Conestoga has it. Purdue does have opportunities, though, and can punish Conestoga, because Conestoga, despite the lead they got, we saw some glaring errors in their play that cost them dearly in that mid to late game. It is extremely hard to lose 6k goal lead in a matter of a minute.
But they showed that it would have been possible. Bit of a mess up in from the Nexus, and they just gave Purdue a chance to come back, just get some ground taken. They managed to get multiple picks off, and they even got that Baron, didn't they? Yeah.
Yep.
They secured that Baron, but they could not pull through the end. They just barely scraped by. Conestoga managed to take them out and take that game 1, but once again here, game 2, it all comes down to just certain abilities, certain usages. Of course, that pick, Blitzcrank managed to get someone off in the back line, and it's all over for Conestoga. So, yeah.
Believe
So,
it or
not, it's down to the gameplay in a video game.
Yeah, who knew that gameplay or video games were about gameplay and mechanics? Who knew? Either way, snarky comments aside, we are going to throw it to a break to build the rest of this spectator delay, and when we come back, we will be into Game 2. So grab your drink, stretch your legs, touch some muddy grass, and we'll see you on the other side. And here we are for Game 2. Now Conestoga, they know the drill against the Blitz Crank. You counter sack, and they may not be able to see them, but Lopaczynski spots them out, walking dangerously close, and maybe trying to bait them into the bush. Hydra Knight was walking dangerously close there as well. And Lopaczynski gets hooked over the wall, but Conestoga is still waiting there in the bush. So Hydra Knight, he's dropped awfully close to death. But still, both teams, they walk it out. They'll say
some sums used, but other than that,
it was a heal for an Ignite. I would take that if I was Purdue, actually, because that's the heal on the 80 carry. So the 80 carry is now closer to death, you could say.
yes.
Doesn't have that extra movement speed to dodge a hook even. So it could be a precarious situation. And now because Lopaczynski had to reset as well, he's behind on the jungle tempo and he's doing it useless as well. So Fox here will probably have a 12-second lead in terms of jungle clearing, which equates to about a full camp. And a full camp early means that you're going to get to the first gank early, you will get the first scuttle crab, you will be in position to make things work. Now, Fox on Sejuani, I have no idea how he plays, how he can do it. He could just bar us to death with his playstyle, or he could pop off and provide us with some bristly action.
The Sejuani critic really coming into play here from you. It's
hey. I climbed up.
Yeah.
I climbed my way on to Sejuani. I made it into Diamond with a 75% win rate on the champion. Okay, I have every right to critique someone's gameplay. Okay,
you deserve it.
Yeah. So, Hydra Knight, level 1, gets the flash out of Slightly, but a good reactionary flash out of Slightly to dodge that hook. I think they still would have been okay because they had the level 3 advantage going well. So, just in case you haven't picked up yet, Conestoga is on the blue side, and Purdue is on red side. We did have that change up happen in draft phase, and it seems like Attorney Mordekaiser's already putting the mace down.
Got that Doran coming at the start, trying to get that health regen off and poke in, as he has no mana, so he gets the second passive from the item. And of course, that's just a little extra AP at the start, getting even more damage in there from that Obliterate. So it's... Top lane's looking pretty good for him up there, of course. That max health damage on the passive as well. It's just going to shred that Cassante.
Yeah, and
Hydra Knight just
yeah, we
barely
can
scrape by with that hook.
we can see the junglers right now in the minimap. Sedge is onto her 6th camp already. Lobachinski's just finishing his 5th. And Scuttle is spawning in 10 seconds. But we're going to see Fox take the early back, regen up, grab boots, ruby crystal, couple pots, and then run straight bot, I imagine, to fight for that second Scuttle Crab. But really, it's just going to be Scuttle for Scuttle here, and then be on tempo to restart your jungle right as it respawns.
Oh no, there's a flash knockup coming in on Slightly. Slightly already used that flash trying to get out. Ooh, does not get the bailout reset off fast enough. A lot of feather call damage just came in there from T1 Galiusi, I believe. That's his, yes.
Not actually a T1 player.
No,
but fanboying.
He just wants to feel special. But that's bot lane lead there for Purdue with that
and
good flash engage.
Another 2 kills going to Purdue. And Slayers just doesn't have the damage early on Jinx.
Not yet.
And they keep trying to trade back early, and it's not working out right now. But now become Decker with good flash over into the Gravity Well, or Force Field.
I think it's like anti-gravity field.
Gravity Field, that's probably what it is. Yeah, into the Gravity Field. There we go. But Fox is looking for a repeat gank there as the Arctic Assault comes off cooldown, is stepping up, and this could be a dead become Decker as he gets stunned by the Scatter of the Weak. The sigil damage comes through, but Fox is stunned under tower. So Lopachinski is able to get 1 there, looking to get Maximus Toy as well, and he is able to get 2.
Use the flash either.
Ooh. And that was all because Become Decker was able to escape the first gank and get to tower on the second one and drop a perfect gravity field to lock Sedge under tower. So on the side of Purdue, that just feels bad.
Yes.
You had that kill on Decker, but he's able to walk out with a smidge of HP. Lobachinski is now onto the dragon as well. We will get a different soul too.
Yep.
And so that tempo that Fox had built up for himself is gone. He's now behind by a massive amount in jungle.
Behind by, it's 2 kills into Lopachinski there, giving him a very good lead, making his early game better, which is already quite deadly on Xin Zhao. And of course, Condors will most likely be claiming the dragon here. Yep, there it goes. A little bit more. That still gives out of combat movement speed as well, no?
A little bit.
A little bit.
If it does, it's just a little bit.
Yes.
But
it still helps. Ooh.
Okay,
Fight
so
going up here up top.
multiple areas. The Eternity's dropped the Death Realm. He's ulting. Puff Zone is ulted now as well. Death Realm ends, and Puff Zone just getting smacked down by the mace. So Eternity getting that solo kill, and he's definitely going to be feeling good about that one. Fox with another repeat gank on to become Decker finally is able to secure that kill as well. And I wanted to point out that Lopachinski with the 2 kills, it's not just the gold lead, it's the experience lead that you get off the kills as well. And Xin is a duelist. He can fight you 1v1, but he's actually having to cede a bit of jungle pressure right now because Fox has backed up from Maximus Toys there. So he's going to run bot, he's going to look to gank first, but Fox is there looking for a counter. But I think this could just be a dead Sejuani. She kept going there. So she'll Arctic Assault over the wall and look for an escape. And so, the bot lane. They find a little bit of return momentum, they say, but that kill does go over to Lopachinski. So Xin Zhao is a hard champion to carry on late game. Early game, it's easy to look good.
Oh, yes.
But late game will be hard to carry on. So Lopachinski definitely needs to find ways to snowball this. And one way is denying Fox camps, denying Fox the buffs especially. Galiusi now stepping up. Lopachinski's going to go in. The handshake comes through out of Slightly, and that one will be 1 kill. Now Hydra Knight could go down here as well, as Lopachinski does have the knock up there with Dragon Strike. And there it is, but I think they're missing just a little bit of damage, but they're not. And so Xin Zhao picking up another 2 kills.
They're just feeding him this money in the jungle. They just both walked up with no real plan, no intent to do anything there, it seems. Just kind of checking him out, seeing what he's doing. Saying, hey, we doing our blue buff there, and they both just fell victim to that early damage.
Okay, so now that we can actually see the gold values there, Lobachinski's already up 1.4k gold lead at 7.5 minutes. This game is entirely his to carry or lose. He is going to back.
No, he's not. No, he's not. They wait.
He hit level 6. That's why.
Level 6,
and so they get the tower damage. I think it was the tower damage.
Slightly.
And now Galileusi. Okay, so they do get one there. It goes back onto support. So that's a shutdown that you just gave over as well.
I believe that was 500 that just went off of him there to the Purdue ADC.
Yeah,
he's just getting caught out here with the death realm. Does he? Ooh, just barely couldn't get that shield in time. Was still on cooldown.
Oh, and this is what I was worried about, is that Conestoga, they can get leads, they can do well, but the gold lead is suddenly evened up because they overstep, they overstate, they overgreed. They try and push it too far. And so Lopachinski, I can understand why he did it. But now Fox, he's going to look for Become Decker here. Become Decker does have flash. The Glacial Prison doesn't come out. The Flail does. There's the Arctic Assault. And we'll have to flash out of the field as well. Now Maximus Toy scouted the weak on the slightly. And it's looking into a 3v3. The Lopachinski is there with a completed core drinker before the 9-minute mark. That's absolutely disgusting to see. So Lopachinski wants extended fights right now because he can carry them solo, just like he's trying to do. But another Scout of the Week comes up, which dissuades Xin Zhao from going any further. He was awfully close to the tower and maybe could have got picked if he stayed there. But his presence alone dissuaded that fight. Fox was just getting some pressure down and ultimately couldn't get much. Had to flash out of the gravity field to make sure they weren't picked under the tower yet again. And yeah, the Super Mega Death Rocket unfortunately sails wide. And now Galileusi is looking for Slayers here, has ult available, and is looking for the solo 1v2 play, but the bail comes out, not going to be enough. And now Galileusi will get the 1v2. And all because he has the Kraken Slayer, because he got the shutdown from Lopachinski. Actions have consequences, people, and now we are seeing them live on the Rift itself. So Galileusi also then gets another tower plate, and so the gold value is heavily starting to swing into favor of Purdue because they're finding these trade kills, the return kills. They got that shutdown, and now you have a massive Galileusi who actually has a chance to snowball. You can already 1v2 in the lane, and Become Decker does great to dodge that. But Draven never got a chance to actually get off the ground last game with the pressure that Lopachinski put bot. This game, Galileusi is already off the ground. Completed a Mythic with boots, with a pickaxe. This is a very scary and fed Zaya. It's almost like birds are overpowered.
A little bit, just a little bit. And it's really starting to shine here. Of course, we just saw that double kill down bot, able to hold his ground against both Conestoga's bot laners. Lopachinski, it's a good, what was it, Dragon Strike, I believe, is that W?
It's...
Oh,
I'm not sure, but Cassante and Eternity are going at it. Eternity gets put on the tower, and so Cassante will clap him. And Eternity just hasn't had the time to go up the spikes. But Lopachinski with a good Dragon Steel there by the looks of it. And Fox gets locked down by the CC and skinned. Now Hydra Knight is trying to make it out. But with the zap, with the slows coming through, there's nowhere for the robot to run. So therefore, Conestoga find a little bit of ground to take for themselves. They've evened up the gold for the most part, but still down nearly 1,000, which is a rough place to be in for a team that looks so far ahead. And Lopachinski, 8 out of 9 kill participation. The only kill he hasn't gotten was the solo kill by Eternity on Cassante.
He's chasing the Slayers.
And now Galileusi will easily win that 1v1. Lopachinski and Maximus Toy here going at it, but Syndra presses hard. He doesn't quite win that fight right off the bat. But with help on its way, Lopachinski might not be able to make it out. The bail comes through, but he can't dash back to the Syndra. So he gets killed there without getting anything. Misposition after misposition. Now Become Decker tries to buy some time in the gravity field, but the permafrost comes out by Fox. And Fox and Hydra Knight, they have more than enough CC to just lock Become Decker down. Victor is not going to be victorious in this fight anytime soon. And so Purdue they are finding ways to strike back. And with the Rift Herald as well, that will be extra gold taken. Probably 2 plates. And now Hydra Knight and Slayer... Well, Hydra Knight goes hard. It's going to be a 1-for-1 there as Galliusi gets executed. But they pick up 2 full plates in mid lane. Fox gets the majority or line share of that gold. Maximus Toy does get a little bit of it. But Lopachinski, he's still ahead in gold over the Sejuani.
Yeah, he's still got a bit of a lead, but the rest of his team...
His impact is already falling off.
Yeah, that's already going back a couple of greedy plays coming here. I thought they had Condors secured a bit of a better lead down there after the dragon fight, but then it just all fell apart.
Yeah, and through my own experiences on the team, something that Lopachinski has had as a bit of a motto is that wait for the enemy team to beat themselves. Right now, Conestoga is beating themselves. They're making the mistakes that enable their losses to come through. I think if they shore up their own gameplay and don't give over these easy mistakes for Purdue to capitalize on, we would have a repeat of game 1 already, where they'd be massively ahead, but instead, they've given over too many mistakes.
Yes.
Or have committed too many mistakes, however you want to phrase it. Conestoga, they're losing to themselves, and Purdue is reaping the benefits of that. And so, Conestoga need to shape up. They need to calm down, need to play smart, need to not over-aggress on these plays. Slayer's caught out, doesn't have a ward in the tri-bush, so Fox gets the easy path in. The Glacial Prison comes out, and they could easily get this kill. They do. And that tower shot nearly chunked Galliusi.
Giving him that kill, but Galliusi makes it alive. More money in his pocket. I don't know. I think he's building towards Navori here. That's a lot of cooldown reduction, a lot more damage coming out of there. Slightly trying to come in here, help flash off the handshake, pulls Maximus Toy out, but Maximus Toy is able to walk around the anti-gravity field instead. Oh, okay. The damage from Come Decker secures the kill.
The Death Ray secures the kill there out of Come Decker. I was worried that Slightly's handshake would be
messed up the play a little bit.
The mistake of that play, because he pulled Maximus Toy, the Syndra, out of the gravity field, out of the stun. They didn't layer their CC properly, and we saw Maximus Toy was nearly able to get out, but the Death Ray with the extended range got the kill. So Fox covers mid lane, picks up the CS, picks up the XP, and is still keeping on par with Lopachinski despite being down kills, down CS. He's still able to keep up, which for them is an absolute great sign. You see the extra Sunfire capes come out already, and you can tell that Fox wants nothing to do with top lane. You will not go top. Not with that itemization this early as well. And Fox is doing a good job of counter-ganking right now. Doesn't have the highest kill participation, but he's been there. He's had a presence on the Sejuani, which is good to see. It hasn't resulted in much, but it's gotten a lot of pressure over for Purdue. And now Lopachinski with the second Rift Herald by the looks of it. It's going to be on him to try and break open the map. Try and make something happen here. Hydra Knight, they're looking for Lopachinski. The knockup is there, the silence as well, and the stun comes through. So Lopachinski with the Dragon's Crescent, I believe it's called, stays safe. And he's surviving an awfully long time. But Galliusi drops the Feather Storm there. They're looking for a kill on Slightly. They get it. Galliusi pulls the feather back, get the second kill there. And this is an all-out team fight. The bail comes through, but it's not enough for Lopachinski. And now Slayer is trying to get the reset, but is locked down by Fox. So that will be a flat win for Purdue. Now they do sacrifice pressure top, so Eternity will get chip damage, but I don't think he'll be able to take the entire tower, as Hydra Knight's already running up there. Puff Zone is going to help secure the Dragon just because Sej can do it, but it takes some time, and these death timers are still pretty low. But either way, great play out of Purdue there to find the...
Hold through, they got the Condors kind of spread out all over the place, and they just able to group up together. They get that nice early kill on Lopachinski, although they did manage to pick off that Blitzcrank. But after he uses his abilities, he doesn't have that much of an impact other than just being a bit of a...
He got his kit down. That was the important part. He dropped his kit, got the CC down, and then was killed. Like, that's arguably okay. That's what you want a Blitzcrank to do if they die after using everything.
Got his use out, and he went down with a smile on his face, giving his team a good amount of kills there. 4 Condors went down that fight, and that gives about a 2k gold lead here. Almost. Oh no, more about... Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, up there, Eternity's up top, getting Maximus Toy out here. It's pretty much gimme with that Death Realm. Nowhere for him to go. Gives Eternity's second kill, and a lot of pressure coming from him.
Okay, so Rift Herald was dropped mid to secure that tower as well. Now
the bot tower down here as well. The Condors just focus on that, ignoring Puff Zone. The rest of his team's going to come and just stack on Puff Zone right here. Goes for the ult, but stopwatch. Not getting that victory today. The kill goes off him with a successful handshake, dragging him right back, and that's a shutdown actually. Money going to Lopachinski.
yeah, yep, yep.
Conestoga's
So-
gaining a little bit more of a footing here. It's just about... Oh, gold is even.
Yeah, they've evened up the gold, but the
Even up
gold
the
difference
kills.
is only about 1k there
Yeah.
at most. So, Purdue is still doing a much better job of staying in this game, staying on par. And you can see that Sedge just isn't getting damage down on the eternity. Most of that damage was actually because he was in tower range.
Yeah.
And right now, Conestoga overall, as a team, the Condors, they're playing a better macro game. They have 2 dragons to their name. They weren't able to secure the 3rd, and I do believe it is a Mountain Soul on the field.
Yes, it is not sold. I see a few rocks on the mini-map that are set up.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You do see the rocks, because I know Hexgate can often have the rock icon as well. League spectator issues, par for the course. But yeah, Purdue getting the Mountain Soul, the first Mountain Drag,
It's a lot of
is massive.
resistances.
It's like
Sejuani,
Sedge actually
Cassante.
gets so much value out of it as well.
Even the Blitzcrank is happy about that one, of course. That's a strong Purdue front line.
It makes
Even
it
stronger.
that much harder for Lopachinski on the Zinzao to carry this game. It puts more pressure on to Become Decker and Slayers. Slayers is sitting at 2 items, and you look across the pitch, the rift to Galiusi there, who's sitting on 2.5. So there's still gold differences to be seen here and how they impact the game. Right now, I'm going to say Lopachinski having the lion's share of the gold on the Condors hasn't done enough. And that's because of the early mistakes that's
Yes.
given gold back. If he didn't make those mistakes, I would say he's done more than enough to get his team through the early game. Fox doesn't land the Glacial Prison,
Slayer's
and
still
now
at
they're being
flash.
chased down by the Rampaging Condors, who are flocking to this mid lane looking for the fight here. Hydra Knight gets locked up, and he gets silenced down as well. And now everybody's going after everyone, but the Hostile Takeover comes out, catches 3, I believe. Hydra Knight will be the next to drop. Robot to Scraps, but he actually stays alive as Maximus Toy on the Cinder presses R to win the fight and kills Become Decker. But the bailout saves Lopachinski there. So Purdue had a couple opportunities there to balance out that fight, but at the end of the day, Condors stand tall with 4 members left alive, and they rotate immediately to Baron, which had just spawned as well.
Right away, perfect timing. That was a great team fight from the Condors there. They really got that damage in. They were able to get that front line out with Cassante in the Death Realm. Although Eternity was able to kill him in there, it's just taking out that one member that can stop all that damage from going through. It still makes quite the difference in the end. And even though Mordekaiser is gone, you still have Zinzao with that ult out. He's making space, he's causing distractions, causing panic, chaos. He's in there, and he's staying alive with that Gore Drinker and that other sustainer in his kit. And he was able to make that, he was able to pull through. Even when he was about to die at the end, the bailout kept him in. And that was able to allow the Condors backline with the Jinx there, stack up that Hyper, get that damage in. Although Become Decker did die that fight, he had a lot coming out from the Death Ray and the Chaos Storm, so it was well played by the Condors in the end. Able to secure that team fight in that Baron.
I'm sure we'll see it here in a second, and I can't actually tell from anything. But I did see it there at the very end. Is that Become Decker did actually get the Baron buff as well. So Conestoga waited long enough to take the Baron to make sure that they all 5 had it. And Eternity nearly got picked off there towards the end. But potential dragon fight here, and instead they go hard onto Become Decker, and Become Decker is actually able to drop with another great static. Gravity field. Static field is blitz. Or something like that. Either way, Puff Zone's the next one to drop. He won't have another puff of fresh air. He'll have a puff of the gray screen. Can you take a puff of a gray screen? Or is that... No.
I don't know. There might be some way, but ooh, a nice, really good hook from Hydra Knight, pulling Slayers over the wall, giving them a nice shutdown and pick on the Jinx there. A little less tower damage coming out, but still, that Baron is allowing Condors to chunk down, gets the inhibitor. Lopachinski goes in there, gets Maximus Toy, able to keep that regen, keep that going. The bailout stacked up. That's his one revive. He can't die again here, and he died. As I
But
said it.
Eternity is still a
Eternity
massive
will get that
Mordekaiser.
kill. It's just Fox left. though. The Cassante just respawned coming as
Fox
well. Eternity
can
still
do
got that
this.
shield.
Cassante is there
Will
as
they
well.
get the
Eternity's
inhibitor as
still
well? They're
massive.
nearby. Slightly's just trying to help Eternity as much as he can, trying to keep him up, but Puffstone goes in there, gets slightly out of the situation. Eternity's just getting that healing off, getting that damage out there. Oh, still that bailout, try to do something with it, get Fox, keep going, but at the end, Condors, all 5, died in the base, but they made quite the impact while they did it.
I feel like once again they overcommitted there. They break the base, but that's all they get out of their Baron, right?
Yes.
And because that fight went on for so long, it's actually Purdue that have the man advantage for Dragon. So both teams rush Dragon right now. Purdue has the advantage. They're down 4k gold. They have Fusante, Puffstone TPing in. And so arguably, this Dragon should go over to Purdue. They have the advantage. Slightly isn't there, has a hostile takeover available, but can't use it until he gets there. And so it's going to be Lopachinski on the steal. Ooh, Hydra Knight with a look on the Slayers there with the blind hook, but not quite there. So Lopachinski looking to dive in for the steal, but they do concede the Dragon.
And that's an objective bounty as well, so that's even more extra money for Purdue.
So they Purdue cut down the gold lead by another 1,000 with that bounty, with the Dragon. And this is what I mean by Conestoga. They aren't quite playing it cleanly enough. Where if they had got the inhibitor tower, focus Nexus, they back off, they do drag, Purdue gets nothing.
Nope.
Absolutely
Can't disrupt
nothing.
that flow, disrupt that tempo. It could have been cleaned by the Condors, but of course the Blitzcrank hook at the start, getting Slayers of the situation, made quite the impact. And then the Condors, they just kept going. They didn't want to back out. They wanted to get more objectives, break that base a little bit more, and it turned out to be a negative response in the end.
I guess they got their objective, right?
They did.
They got the inhibitor tower, they got the inhibitor itself. So mid lane is broken, the base is broken. But through that fight, they gave over so much gold. And so, Condors, they can win. They get a hook onto Slightly here. They're looking for a good fight there, but Syndra and Victor aren't there yet, but they will be there soon as TPs come through. Fox is trapped in the Death Realm, and this is what I mean. You just can't beat the Mordekaiser as a Sedge. The Puffstone is onto the back line there, and Slayer Slightly, I don't think they quite have enough damage to survive this, and he's buying so much time for the side of Purdue, but at the end of the day, he's just missing a little bit of damage in order to kill the bot lane from the Condors. So Conestoga is allowed to push through. The Galliusi is now there as well. This is a full HP Xayah who's putting in the work, and that's a huge Feather Storm picking up 3, and now Slayers is going to drop. So that was almost a quadra kill. The scumbag Syndra taking it away from Galliusi. But either way, Conestoga. Questions, eyebrows, they are being raised here as well.
They keep doing it. They keep going in there, trying to get more of that Purdue base, and it's biting them back in the end.
Yeah.
They just can't seem to get this playoff right. That was an incredible amount of feathers that came back there, although that was a lot of damage coming through. 3 kills at once. So
okay. Baron is 40 seconds away. I thought for a moment there that with death timers still on Condors that maybe there was a Baron window here for Purdue, but they do not quite have that window set up.
Will get claimed, but still kills are kills.
They're now within 2,500.
Yes.
So Purdue still managing to find ways to get gold into their pocket, to continue to push forward, and to stay in this game. They're down 5 towers, but they're tied in dragons. So not even the Soul, WinCon, or Elder is on stake for another, well, I guess 8, 12, 14 minutes, whatever it is.
Yes.
So at most, it's going to be a coin flip Baron. But we've seen the Baron fights go both ways right now. Conestoga does have priority, especially with the mid lane pushing in favor of Conestoga. Because of the
comes
super.
out. Misses.
But Lopachinski getting chunked up massively. Static field comes through, or gravity field. And now Puffstone just needs to kind of get out. I'm looking for a Scouter of the Week here coming out of Maximus Foot because they're going to be lined up in that bush. And that's become Decker instantly popped. And now Galliusi dives through, pulls the feathers in, and slightly gets locked down by the Glacial Prison. And this, once more, is the Condors over-aggressing for a fight. Eternity, Lopachinski, can they turn around? A huge Gore Drinker heal, but it's not quite enough there. Eternity's putting in work, but even the Mordekaiser, the Lord of Death himself, cannot win that fight. And so, it's now going to be Baron for Purdue. With the Baron taken on their side, they will be able to even up the scoreline. They have more kills now. They'll have more gold. And with Dragon in 50 seconds, they'll now be able to rotate to Dragon and be the first team set up as well. And to add the cherry on top, their inhibitors respawn for all of this now.
Oh, yeah, there they go. They got a nice, stable footing here, able to jump off of that Baron. And Konosuke just can't seem to get back there and get that Zai out of the mix. The amount of damage she's putting out is incredible. And of course, we all saw that hook coming in there from Hydra Knight to become Decker. He was just pulled right into the entire team of Purdue and was just taken out. Just like that. Moving a lot of Konosuke's damage potential. And in the end, it just gave Purdue that team fight.
Not to take your name in vain, but oh heck, it's a 15-kill Zaya there. I did not realize the Zaya was popping off that hard.
Yeah.
You could tell the Zaya was doing damage, but then you look down and see 15 kills, 10 assists. That's too much. That's too much for any AD carry to have.
Almost
and now
full
becomes
build,
Decker is being targeted down. Fox and Galliusi get taken out by the hostile takeover and landing on both of them. And that is exactly what Konosuke needs to win this fight, to push forward. And now with 3 members dead, with 40-second cooldowns, they will get the Dragon 100%. I don't know if they'll be able to win the game off of this, but this is what they needed. This is what they were looking for.
Yes.
They were able to catch out Galliusi, who was mispositioned there, and then win the ensuing fight. Where in the prior instances, Galliusi has always been able to stay safe. So Victor TP's made to safeguard the T2 tower while the rest of his team groups to try and push the bot inhibitor. There is still baroned up minions here, so Konosuke should not be able to end
the hyper.
But they might look for it, as Lopachinski is looking for Maximus Toy. Great hook there by Hydra Knight, bringing in Lopachinski, and the Syndra just gets popped there. Ooh, so Konosuke might now actually be able to end, because the Purdue team could not wait for all their respawn timers. If that was a 5-man strong stack there, and they get that hook, 100% they kill Lopachinski, but he's able to buy time because all the members of Purdue weren't quite there. So, we see Condors stripping the base, but now the team fight breaks out. Come Decker gets hooked in, he gets popped. Lopachinski's awfully low, and the hostile takeover is doing what it can, but now slightly gets picked as well. So Condors, they have a little bit of reprieve, but a double flash is forced to come out there to keep the remaining Condors safe. And now it's still going to be Fox trying to chase this one down as much as he can. And there he is with the Glacial Assault Flash, and Slayers will be locked down. And with a couple minions and Fox still being awfully healthy, they can just look to tank the towers right away. The TP comes through, and Purdue is maybe looking to finish this game with a little bit of Baron that they have. They're 5-man strong in mid. Eternity is the only one back. Lopachinski tried to cut the wave, but it might not matter if they just tank the towers. And so Purdue, they're going for the finish. Eternity's trying to do what he can. He gets kidnapped over the Nexus. It doesn't matter. Now Lopachinski 1 against 5. He's looking for some miracles to happen. A great knockback, and the respawns are coming through. But it's just the Nexus that's left alive. And Purdue is trying to hit it with everything they have. And they can't quite finish it off. It's just the board that's left. And so the Condors stave off defeat by the skin of their teeth, by the tips of their feather. And now with Super Minions hitting the Nexus towers already, they just need to charge in. They do not have TP to get there early, but they have 30 seconds death timers to work with.
Do you think they can get this in time?
100% they can get it in time. Slayers won't be there, but Lopachinski, 12, 6, and 16
Become Decker's
could do
a lot of damage, able to come out there with that AP scaling.
It's going to be 15 seconds. The minion waves were enough to stall it out.
They might just want to tank
They have to clear the super minion.
They do have to clear the super minion.
Because they don't have the increased damage resistances, whatever, because of the minions near towers.
Oh, here we go. There it is.
It's
super
going to be
close.
Now
Slice is in there, but they learned from their mistakes.
Okay,
and
they are going to back
out
off
in time. There they go. I was really thinking they're going to stay in there and just try and do something. Oh, Maximus.
So, Renata's ult itself, and with how strong Galliusi is, almost instant kills Maximus Toy. That's a scary feeling.
Yeah.
And
respawning and watching your teammate almost just end you right there is really something to go through. Wow, it's real close here now. Both teams have their Nexus quite well. The Condors, their next is wide open. Purdue, they got 1 tower left standing, but 2 inhibs down.
I don't think that matters, to be honest, because if one team fight goes in favor of of Purdue, they instantly win.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not instantly, depending on how the fight goes, but without any inhibitor towers, even with the inhibitors left, if anyone who does damage like Syndra, Xayah are left alive,
Just get in there.
It will be
get
over.
That Nexus
Even
and end the game.
I would say 2 would have to be alive for the front line, like Fox and Pop Zone, just because they're slow auto attackers, but they can eventually do it. But it's going to be incredibly tight now for either side. Like, one mistake can cost the game for both these teams. Conestoga, they're up in gold, but it doesn't really feel like it either, because that is a 16-8.
It's all about getting that
Xayah.
Xayah out. It's all,
If they
you
can't kill
prioritize
Xayah,
that.
I'm going to say Purdue will win the fight, because they can just sit behind the Sejuani. And we have Puff Zone diving onto the backline. So the 10-9 and 10 Jinx isn't outputting that much damage. Even Become Decker can get popped. And now Lobchinski gets hooked in. They get a decent amount of chunk damage, but his ult provides some invulnerability. Hostile Takeover doesn't catch anyone else, and so both teams just kind of handshake. Puff Zone is looking to TP in, and they are going to fight to the death over this dragon. And maybe actually just handshake objectives right now. So that is going to be the handshake, because you can't hand over Soul. You can't hand over Soul at this point in the game.
And is that another Mountain Drake they're claiming?
Yeah, so that would be 3 Mountain Drakes.
Purdue, that's
what, 18% bonus resistances, which is absolutely massive. But it is the Condors with Baron. And Baron buff pushes when you have multiple lanes with supers are so hard to deal with. And Xayah needs to be doing damage to champions. She can't be clearing waves by herself.
Yep.
Cassante, even Fox, the Sejuani, they can't clear supers fast enough to deal with them. So it's going to be all down to the next team fight. One way or another, that's what it's going to be.
Yep, Become Decker's going to just split off and try and do some side lane action here. He's got that teleport ready in case any action starts happening, any fight breaks out.
It's the right call for Become Decker to help manage the side waves right now with the TP. And so he's going to be TPing right in onto his cannon, and it's going to come down to it. And Hydra Knight, he keeps hooking Lobchinski, which is not the person you want to be hooking right now. If he can find a good flank hook, the Lobchinski potentially diving in, the static goes down. And what's more, he hooks the Xin Zhao.
Does it matter,
though? Xin Zhao pops his ult early, so this could be a good look here for Purdue to potentially re-engage with that crucial ultimate down as well. Now Lobchinski could be burst, could be popped, but he does have the Death Dance, the Maul of Malmortis to stay alive. So, I know the color on the map is wrong, but we are getting an 8-ram game right now for at least a little bit, because these teams know that the mid lane is the key. So Lobchinski healing up off the jungle as well. Eternity, he's a buffy Mordekaiser, 6, 6, and 10 with that Jack Show Protean. So definitely a tankier Mordekaiser as well. But you look across as well. That's a Radiant Virtue on Sejuani. Can heal up the team. We have a Gargoyle Stone Plate completed for Cassante. So there's no way you can burst him out with an item like that. And so it's going to come down to this fight one way or another. Hydra Knight sitting on the side. Good Scatter Elite gets some damage across. And now look, he dives in, he finds Galliusi, but the huge Feather Storm comes through. And so far slightly he's dropped. Puffstone's about to drop as well. Slayers got excited and is getting out of that fight, but goes down as well. And Galliusi's off to the side. So it's going to be down to Lobchinski and Eternity to win this fight. They pick up the Hydra Knight. They're going to pick up Fox as well. The resets are coming through, but they still got to get through the Fed ADC, and it's going to be a tough one. But Lobchinski's able to do it, and now it's just the Syndra who can't win a duel against Lobchinski's Xin Zhao. And so, Conestoga Condors, they win the last team fight. They have the Baron buff, and it's up to Lobchinski to end the game. He knows what the mission is. He's going to do it. He's going to win the series for Conestoga Condors. This game 2 was a nail-biter. It was back and forth, but at the end of the day, the Conestoga Condors, they claim victory 2-0, sweeping Purdue JV. GG's and well played.
Wow. What an incredible game that was. A lot of back and forth. Conestoga, of course, could have kept their lead a little more tight there. Could have kept it going a little bit longer, a little bit slip-ups, a little overextending in the enemy base. But in the end, they were able to just secure that final team fight, able to get Gamma UC just... Although, it was just two of them left. It was just Eternity and Lopchinski left there.
It was tough.
They able to jump right on him, able to get in there and get that burst damage out on the Zinzao, and it just chunked him down, and that was the only threat available. And it was just Fox left, the Sejuani, and I believe it was also the Syndra, but they did not have the damage to take either of those champions down. There's too much lifesteal coming out from both of them, too much sustain.
It's the resets coming off the Death Dance there for Lopchinski.
The Death
he was
Dance,
healing massively off of those resets, and with him being last one alive, that means he got 4 resets that fight.
And he even he got really low, and then the Maw kicked in.
Then the Maw, and then lifesteal really hit that next level as well. But overall, I have to say that while the Condors, they came out on top, this game was probably 10 minutes too long.
Yep.
Too many mistakes, and so if the Condors, if they're gearing up for playoffs, because they've secured a playoff berth sitting at 4-4, there's one more week of regular season, and then we start getting into playoffs. If they want to do well in playoffs against some of the upper teams, like UW Black against Lancer Gaming, both teams which have rolled over the Condors, they need to shape up. They need to make sure that their gameplay is solid. You can't have holes in a boat if you're looking to float.
Read the situations a bit better, just plan out those death timers.
I want to say they have a good read on the situations. Their game sense is there. They are finding the leads that they need to win the game. What's happening is that their sense of self-preservation is turned off.
Yes.
They are over-aggressive. They're taking a step
more
too
and
far.
more and more, and it's just stacking up, and eventually it just bites back. You can't...
Exactly. Eventually you can't carry the sack of gold in your pocket.
You can't eat that whole sandwich in one bite. You got to take your time.
Exactly. You know? Don't play with your food. Just eat it. Just be done. Have your manners. But regardless, Conestoga, they put on a show, which is what we're here for.
Yes.
I'm incredibly grateful for the show. It was fun. It was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, entertaining is a good word.
There we go.
You know, my voice isn't going to be happy with me tomorrow, but that's tomorrow's problem. Today's problem was getting a good stream going, which we accomplished. And so with that, you know, we're safe to wrap up.
Yeah.
So we have Rocket League on Friday with a potential Valorant stream on Saturday as well. So definitely more Condors action coming this week as well. But for tonight, I'm Saros Dims. This is OHEC. We've been your casters. It's been a pleasure. And we're done for the night. So enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good night, everyone.